Elon Musk is often seen as a genius who sometimes behaves like a fool. But what if that foolishness is not a flaw at all? What if it is the reason his influence keeps growing, even when his behavior seems irrational?
Elon Musk is widely portrayed as one of the most intelligent and influential figures of our time. A visionary entrepreneur, a builder of rockets, electric vehicles, and ambitious technological futures. His companies are associated with complexity, engineering excellence, and long-term thinking.
And yet the public persona he cultivates often appears strangely inconsistent with that reputation. He posts memes that feel deliberately juvenile. He makes jokes that seem poorly timed or socially awkward. He embraces chaos, irony, and provocation in ways that frequently appear unserious, even reckless. The Elon Musk Foolishness Theory does not argue that Musk lacks intelligence. Quite the opposite. It assumes a high level of cognitive and strategic ability. What it questions is not intelligence, but presentation. The theory suggests that what looks like foolishness is, at least in part, a cultivated public role, a performance designed to shape perception, lower expectations, and distort how power is interpreted. Foolishness, in this sense, is not the absence of strategy, it is the strategy.
In public discourse, seriousness invites scrutiny. Consistency invites accountability. A figure who speaks carefully and behaves predictably can be measured, quoted, and held responsible for contradictions. Foolishness disrupts this process. When behavior appears chaotic or playful, the standards shift. Statements are dismissed as jokes. Reversals are reframed as humor. Criticism is met with the suggestion that the critic is simply taking things too seriously. The result is not the disappearance of critique, but its neutralization.
This effect is especially visible in Musk's online behavior. His social media presence regularly oscillates between major corporate announcements and posts that resemble internet humor more than executive communication. One moment he comments on space exploration or artificial intelligence, the next he shares a meme or a deliberately absurd remark. This tonal instability creates ambiguity. Is he speaking as a chief executive officer, a private individual, a provocateur, or a comedian? The lack of a stable frame makes interpretation optional. Supporters can always assume irony. Critics are left arguing with a moving target. Over time, this produces something like narrative immunity. Serious allegations struggle to gain traction when the subject refuses to remain within a serious register. Rational critique depends on shared norms of discourse. Foolishness breaks those norms. It does not argue against criticism, it sidesteps it. The conversation shifts from substance to style, from consequences to personality. In that shift, accountability dissolves. There is also a psychological layer to this dynamic. People tend to underestimate individuals who appear unserious or foolish. Apparent silliness lowers perceived threat and reduces analytical attention. Expectations drop and observers focus on surface-level behavior rather than structural influence. This underestimation can be exploited. While attention is drawn to antics, decisions continue to be made, power continues to be exercised, and influence continues to accumulate beneath the noise. Another key element of the foolishness theory is how well this persona fits the logic of modern media platforms. Algorithms reward engagement, not coherence. Outrage, mockery, defense, irony, and confusion all generate interaction. By behaving in ways that reliably provoke reaction, Musk ensures constant visibility. Whether people are laughing at him, criticizing him, or defending him, they are still amplifying his presence. In an attention economy, foolishness can outperform respectability. This framework also explains why contradictions rarely damage his image in lasting ways. Changing positions, deleting statements, or reversing decisions would normally erode credibility. But when unpredictability is already part of the brand, reversals are expected, instability becomes an aesthetic. The absence of consistency stops being a flaw and turns into a feature. There is no stable baseline against which behavior can be measured. This persona also creates a crucial separation between the individual and the institutions he leads. When controversial statements or erratic behavior appear, responsibility becomes blurred. Is it the chief executive officer speaking, the private individual, or the online persona? This ambiguity protects organizations from direct attribution while allowing influence to flow uninterrupted. The foolish image absorbs criticism that might otherwise attach to corporate or structural decisions. At the same time, media coverage increasingly focuses on personality rather than outcomes. Attention is redirected from policy, labor conditions, market impact, or governance towards spectacle and reaction. The persona becomes the story, replacing deeper analysis with continuous surface-level engagement. This shift benefits not only the individual but the systems around him, as structural power operates with reduced scrutiny. Over time, this produces a feedback loop. The more foolishness dominates the narrative, the less space remains for sustained critique. Serious questions are drowned out by performance. Because the persona appears unserious by design, attempts to restore seriousness feel forced or inappropriate. The performance sets the terms of discourse, not the audience. Crucially, the foolishness theory does not require that every action be meticulously planned. It does not claim that Musk scripts each moment. Instead, it describes a permissive persona, a role that absorbs mistakes, excesses, and provocations without collapsing. Even genuine errors are reinterpreted as part of the act. The distinction between intention and accident becomes irrelevant because the outcome is the same. This dynamic also creates asymmetric interpretations among audiences. Supporters often read foolishness as authenticity. The lack of polish is perceived as honesty. The jokes, memes, and provocations are framed as evidence that Musk is real and unfiltered. Critics, on the other hand, interpret the same behavior as incompetence or irresponsibility. Paradoxically, both interpretations benefit the figure at the center. Supporters feel emotionally aligned. Critics underestimate the strategic environment in which the behavior operates. Meanwhile, institutions, markets, and media systems continue to respond to the signals being sent, regardless of how playful they appear. The foolishness theory becomes even more compelling when viewed through a historical lens. The figure of the fool has always occupied a special position in power structures. The court jester was allowed proximity to authority precisely because he was not taken seriously. He could say things others could not. Protected by humor and absurdity, his apparent lack of seriousness granted him freedom. In modern media culture, this role has been reinvented, not with costumes and bells, but with memes, irony, and performative unpredictability. In this sense, Elon Musk represents a contemporary version of the fool archetype, not outside power, but embedded within it, not mocking authority, but wielding it while appearing unserious. This combination is unsettling because it challenges traditional assumptions about how power should look. We are used to associating influence with gravitas, discipline, and formality. The foolishness theory suggests that in a platform-driven media environment, those associations no longer fully apply. What makes the theory uncomfortable is not the claim that Musk is manipulative. It is the implication that foolishness itself can function as a form of power. It is a way to escape the expectations normally placed on influential figures. It is a way to dominate discourse without appearing to seek dominance. If this is true, then the issue is not limited to one individual. It points to a broader structural shift. This raises a difficult question. Are audiences equipped to critically engage with power that refuses to present itself as serious? Traditional critique relies on clear positions, stable statements, and explicit claims. Foolishness erodes these anchors. It replaces clarity with ambiguity and intention with performance. In doing so, it exploits a media system optimized for reaction rather than reflection. Ultimately, the Elon Musk foolishness theory may say less about Musk himself than about the environment that enables him. A media ecosystem that monetizes provocation, platforms that reward chaos, audiences trained to react emotionally rather than analytically. Within such a system, foolishness is not a liability, it is an advantage. And once recognized as such, it becomes difficult to unsee. If you found this theory interesting, subscribe for more deep dives into power, media, and the system shaping modern influence. Thanks for watching.